My name's Megan, and welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to be doing a coffee talk, but this coffee talk is not going to be so happy and cheery or insightful or advice. I just want to talk, and I want to explain and discuss and kind of work through what it is that I have going on in my head right now. If you're looking for a vlog or an advice video or those type of videos, please go back to my channel and check out those videos. There are plenty, but today it's just not going to be. So grab your cup of coffee, sit down on your couch or you're in the coffee shop, wherever you are, and just listen and let's discuss. On Tuesday, April 11th, 2017, my grandpa Lloyd passed away in a sleep. I didn't hear this news till Friday, and the shock of it all, it was completely unexpected and totally not what I had even imagined was going to come out of my mom's mouth. Thankfully, he passed in his sleep, so it wasn't like he was sick in a hospital with wires and tubes but it's still so sad. You know, I saw him maybe 2 months ago, and I never believed that 2 months later he wouldn't be here. And in some weird part of my brain, I never really thought that there wouldn't be a day he was around, you know? I didn't think that I would one day say that my grandpa had passed away. I don't know. You know, and when I was about 13, my grandpa Sam passed away, and I dealt with that, and that was a shock too, and it was hard, but to some extent I felt like I don't know, I handled it, I guess, and I don't even know. I don't know. And I haven't dealt with very much death in my life, honestly. I just haven't. Close deaths, I guess, in a sense, but this one, it rocked me to my core, and it shocked me, and it numbed me. And I feel like I've gone through every stage of coping and accepting and being okay with this because you have no choice. Friday night, my mom told me that he passed away. And immediately I wanted to deny it. The shock of it made me want to just be like, no, you're lying. What are you talking about? But in the back of my mind, I knew she wasn't lying. I knew that she was telling the truth, because why would she lie about something like that? And then the shock set in, and I couldn't breathe. And I felt so confused. That night, when I drove home, I was shaking. I had to stop about 3 times and pull off the side of the road because I couldn't stop crying. I was so sad, and I sat in my car for 5 minutes in the parking lot and just cried, trying to gather myself enough to walk up the stairs. I cried in the shower. I cried myself to sleep that night. The next day I woke up and I said, Megan, you have to be okay. You have to do what you have to do. And I took a couple of days off of YouTube, and I took a couple of days off my blog, and I mentally took a break from everything that I was doing, and I think that definitely helped. That night, I got drunk, and a friend came over, and he really helped me deal with the emotions in a way I hadn't. Sunday came, and strangely, I was okay. I didn't have any more tears to cry, and I mean, yeah, of course I miss him, but I just didn't feel that pain anymore in some weird way. And I know a lot of people are different in the sense of it might take them longer to deal with death or deal with moving on. But for me, it wasn't that I was over it, it was just, okay, now it's time to pick my life back up and move forward. But what is left from all of this are the questions. And I think that's the hardest part for me to really grasp and to really be able to be okay with. He died so suddenly and so unexpectedly that there's so many things left unsaid. I feel like there's so much that I don't know about him. I feel like there was so much he didn't know about me. I feel like we didn't really get that, grandparent to grandchildren relationship ever. And while yes, I can take the blame for a lot of that, because once I was old enough to really understand what he was and my grandparent, I never reached out in a sense. I was young and I was 18, and I don't know, you don't think about this. You don't think that 5 years later he won't be around to ask these questions. And now I think about it and like, who was he? Who was he as a child, as a teenager? Who did he date? Who did he love? Did he go to college? I don't even know if he went to college, although I doubt it. But did he ever have any other relationships other than the one that produced my dad? Who was he? What were his hobbies? What did he like to do? Did he like to inline skate? Did he like to rap? I mean, there's just all these questions, and I'm never going to get these answers now. And I'm left with this emptiness of like, I don't know who he is. And that's what really sucks, is who was he? Yeah, he was my grandpa and he was kooky as heck, but who was he before that? Who was he before he was a dad or a boyfriend? Who was he when he was a kid? What was his first job? What was his first car? Little things that maybe didn't seem important. Now all of a sudden I'm so curious and I want to know so badly, and I'll never get to have those answers. And I think that's what the hardest part is for a lot of people, is when someone passes away so unexpectedly and so suddenly, you're left with questions. You're left with questions that will never have answers. And it's so sucky, honestly. I'll never get that kind of closure, and I know that he loved me, and so I am perfectly okay with never having that kind of closure. But apparently my grandpa had pictures of us everywhere, and I would have loved to see that. I would have loved to seen who he was one last time. and in that sense, it being so sudden and so quick, you kind of just have to accept it. You don't get that closure. You don't get that, oh, well, this and that. You don't get that. It was so sudden. It was so quick. There wasn't a last chance, and there was no opportunity to really say my piece or come to terms. It was just an acceptance, and it sucks. For me, he was my last living biological grandfather. My dad's mom passed away when I was 3 years old, and he was my last biological grandfather. So something that I wanted to mention in this video that, it's gonna sound so weird, and it freaks me the freak out, y'all. Okay. So, Monday night to Tuesday night, or Monday night to Tuesday morning, when he passed away, I actually had a dream about him. Let's talk about weird. It was nothing particularly odd. It wasn't like he was talking to me. I mean, he was, but not like, I love you or I'll see you again. It was nothing like that. It was more, it was, oh God, it was this one time when we were kids. I mean, we were little, my brothers and I. My dad had actually taken us over there to see him, and we were playing with Play-Doh, and I don't remember exactly what caused the Play-Doh playing, but we were playing with Play-Doh, and we made him these really, like, I mean, I don't know, they were, we were kids, but we made him these like sculptures type things, creations out of Play-Doh, and I remember him keeping them all. And in this dream, we were making these Play-Dohs, and when my dad was like, okay, we have to go, it's time to leave, I was like, okay, and I got up and I hugged him, and when he looked down at me, he said, I love you, Megan, and I'll see you next time. But this dream was so vivid and so odd and so weird. And I remember waking up the next morning thinking, hey, I need to tell my mom that we need to go to lunch with him, that we need to set up a time for the boys to go too, because, we just do. I found out he passed away that morning. I don't know how to explain that dream. I don't know if that was a sign, if that was his way of telling me he loved me. I don't know. All I know is I had a dream of him the same night he passed away. One of my friends said maybe it was a spirit visiting me. Maybe it was, and maybe it was his way of telling me that he loved me and that there will be a next time, that's not the end. And I can find so much comfort in that. And I think that's why I'm okay. A lot of people would take a couple of weeks, probably, maybe more. But I find so much comfort in knowing that he could have possibly been the one of my dream. He could have possibly been telling me that he loved me and there was a next time. I find comfort in the fact that he's no longer hurting, that he is no longer dealing with things he didn't want to deal with. I find comfort in the fact that he knew I loved him, and I think that's why I'm okay. But I will say, losing someone so unexpectedly causes so many different emotions. There's shock and denial and confusion and eventually acceptance. And I think that I'm at the point where I can say that I've accepted that he's passed on. I'd like to say that I can accept it, but reality is, have I accepted it? Maybe not 100%. Maybe about 80. Anyways, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, hit the red subscribe button down below to know when I upload new videos. And if you didn't know, this month on my blog, I'm doing blog posts every single day, and I'm doing videos on this channel every other day, so you should subscribe. Also, if you have any topic ideas for these coffee talks or any questions that you'd like me to discuss, leave them in the comments down below. They would be so helpful. Like, you have no idea how helpful that would be. Anyways, I will see you next time. Bye.